Hi, I'm Jeffrey Nelson. I got connected with the Women's Leadership Institute through some of our amazing women scientists and leaders. They attended a meeting that the Women's Leadership Institute was hosting. They came back and they said to me, wow, this was incredible. We should be listening to what they're saying. We should accept this ElevateHER challenge, and this should be something that we're participating in more. They came back having learned and wanted to share those things with us as a leadership team. That's when we started getting involved. We invited Pat Jones to come and speak to our leadership team. She gave us great advice. She further inspired us to jump in on the ElevateHER challenge, and that was the beginning. At that same time, we also were beginning to evaluate a mentorship program, and we looked to the Women's Leadership Institute to help give us advice and guidance on that. The ElevateHER challenge has been great for us in terms of just embracing the fact that we need to continually be sharpening our saw in regards to helping women succeed in our business. We started to evaluate how we were doing with pay equality. We started a women's mentoring and women's leadership program of our own within the company. We started to really think about these broader issues. How are women affected in the workplace? How can we strengthen them? How can we invest and sponsor women more? So those were the things I think that we've started to do. Obviously, we still have more to do and a longer journey to accomplish, but that's where it began. There's been so many wonderful women that I've had the opportunity to work closely with who've enhanced who we are at Nelson Labs, who have made all of us better, and who have made the world better through their capability, their intelligence, their scientific knowledge. We just need to amplify that more and more. And I think the mission of the Women's Leadership Institute really speaks to that and speaks to me. When we started the journey, unfortunately at the time, I had not long before lost one of the key members of our leadership team, our senior leadership team, who was the only woman left on our leadership team. So at the time, it was very important that we invest in the further development of women leaders and scientists who could matriculate into those upper levels and help balance out our mix in that leadership team. I'm thankful that over time, we have been able to add additional women to the team. And I'm really happy about the fact that we have a lot of women going through our internal program, but just a lot of really capable women at the company who are poised for the opportunities that will come up tomorrow. You have to consciously continue to invest in that regard, in my opinion, to make sure you're giving everyone the opportunity to overcome the biases that unfortunately are present. Our internal mentoring and leadership program for women is focused on multiple factors. First of all, we have a monthly meeting with the group. And in those meetings, we do a little bit of skills development, sharing best practices from other leaders in the company, or having speakers who can address issues like personal brand, financial awareness, management and leadership skills. So that monthly meeting is one part. We also have each participant assigned to a mentor. We go through a process of selecting mentors that we think can be powerful sponsors and advocates for the women in our program. We go through a, call it almost like a speed dating process, if you will, to align the mentors and the participants so that there's a really good fit. They meet with those mentors at least once a month in the program, but many will meet with those mentors even more for advice, for support, for guidance, for learning. We also do quarterly speaker events where we bring in wonderful, successful individuals from the community to talk about women's leadership issues and helping women succeed. Those are the primary elements of the program. The successes we've seen from our program have been women feeling more empowered, women being more aware of their own capabilities, women being less afraid to represent themselves, represent a concern when there is one. We've seen great relationships on the mentoring side that become not only a temporary assignment through the course of the program, but become meaningful ongoing partnerships and friendships and sponsorships. We've seen more and more women get promotions in our company, and we have more women on our most on our top level team, the senior leadership team, and that's something we need to continue to invest in. I think an organization like the Women's Leadership Institute is needed in Utah for a number of reasons. First of all, there's always some historical bias that we have to overcome. It's hard to even recognize some of the unconscious biases that can affect certain people in their career and in their progression. We need an organization like WLI who can continue to inform and educate and invest in helping people overcome those biases. And oftentimes that's us as men, but also who can be advocates and sponsors for those women who are trying to navigate some of those unconscious biases. But I don't think it's only important in Utah. I think it's important everywhere. And I hope that the successes that this organization is having will help other states and other countries invest in and emulate these successes.